Okay, hello everyone, I am Grant, and do I even have to say it? It's been 1 week since the last known appearance of a shiny relic, and it's been 8 days since I started doing this. When I first started doing this, I really didn't expect it to take more than a couple of days based on past experiences. Apparently, no, this is very much just my life now. So yeah, we are herding pigs again, as usual. It's amazing. It's just I'm actually starting to question whether this is bugged or something, because even 1 in 20 million. I mean, I've been trying to do the math, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's always been like this, but apparently we were just very lucky with the first 6, and the 7th is just impossible to find because, you know, I can herd a couple thousand pigs a day, possibly. I mean, I don't count it, but it feels like 1500 is easily done by just me in a day. And even if we consider the absolute best case scenario with like private lobbies, and considering that in public lobbies I don't really see many people doing it, even at the best case, the server collectively herds like 100,000 pigs. Now, compare that to 20 million. 100,000 is a very generous estimate. So we need 10 days to do 1 million. For 20 million, we need 10 times 20. So that's a lot of days. I don't think that's intended. I think they considered like there are like 35,000 people playing Skyblock all the time. If they all herd pigs, 35,000 times, let's say 1,000 each per day, that's 350,000. That's still not that much, honestly. But again, maybe I'm just a slow one, and there are a lot of people who are faster than me. So let's consider that maybe every single person on average on the entire server can herd 5,000 pigs a day. So that's 35,000 times 5,000. It's quite a bit. Also, my math is probably completely right. 35,000 times 1,000. That's not what I said. That's like 35 million or something. But clearly that's not the case, because as I'm farming in the public lobbies, most of the people I see who actually try to interact with pigs or orbs don't seem to actually understand what they even are, which makes me think that out of 35,000 people who are playing Skyblock on a constant basis, 90% has no idea what the event even is. So maybe there are like 3,000 people who are actively farming the event. Each of them can do 1,000 each day. 3,000, 30. That's 3 million a day. So even in that case, we are already behind. Also, I don't know why this happens. I actually installed Optifine because I've been told that it's a really good mod that I should get, and so I did. And in general, yeah, I can do this now, like zoom in. Hello, smile for the camera. So that's fine and all. And also, I turned on like smooth lighting or whatever. At night it looks beautiful. And what else did I do? I shrunk the chat so it doesn't take up half the screen when it's not active. I've also been I have also been farming so much. I now have 11 million coins. May I remind you, I started with 250,000. That's what I started with. Now I have 11 million, and I already spent half a million on a Bloodguard crest, so I actually made more than that. Like 11.5 or so. So that's fun. Yes. This is 8 days. Like if we found 3 million, I mean if we had the 3 million pigs collectively as a server each day, 3 times 8, that's 24 million. So we are already behind the curve on a total and averages. So I don't know what's going on. I'm really starting to question whether this event is just bugged now or something. I don't know. Also, I'm experimenting with new music. Apparently this music is completely copyright free. You can see it on the top right, what's playing and where you can vote for the next music. Actually, Raven, since you're here, can you try out the command? See if it works properly. Maybe vote on a music, something calmer. Okay, both music vote and vote music works, by the way. I did the other one as an alias. This should spice up the stream a little, because last 2 times I just went on YouTube and put on some Minecraft music, which is also copyright free. I mean, there is, in the entire Minecraft soundtrack, there is one music that actually gets caught by YouTube, and I'm pretty sure that's a false flag as well, because the company that owns it is like some completely nonsense name. Not that I care, I don't monetize on YouTube or here. But I thought, I didn't want to just put on more Minecraft soundtrack, because that gets boring, so I thought, hey, I'm just gonna look for something, and apparently this one is completely good, so we'll see how it goes. So, how is everyone today? I am tired. I mean, there was that one night that I already talked about where I slept a single hour and then went back to farming the pigs. But in general, my sleeping schedule has shrunk a little due to these pigs, because I stay up very, very late farming them. And I sleep like, give or take, around 6 hours a day. Usually I try to aim for 7.5. So that shrunk 6,000 because I just want to be done with these pigs. Like, I've been here for over a week. I don't want to give up. Every time I stop farming to go shower or go eat or go sleep, I'm like, this is time when someone else is still farming, and I'm not. Just, oh no. Anytime I'm not farming, someone else on the server is guaranteed farming, maybe on a private lobby or whatever. But considering 1 in 20 million, it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter how many pigs you herd. It only matters how long you herd, because as long as you're herding, you have a chance to win. If you're not herding, you don't have a chance to win. So you have to herd as long as you possibly can, and that's why I'm not sleeping well now, because I'm completely dedicated to the cause at this point. You know, on day one, I was like, this could be a fun distraction, grab some, you know, potatoes and stuff. then on the second day I'm like, okay, someone has found the second to last relic, so clearly it's possible. I see that it's possible because someone else did it. And then on the third day I'm like, still completely dedicated and stuff, and then 6 days in I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I meant when I wanted a distraction. But now I'm too deep in and I just have to keep going, and I have to dedicate every single waking hour. Otherwise someone else might get it. So yeah, I'm a bit tired. That's what I'm saying. I tried to buy VIP. I was like, you know what? I have a new like bank plan, whatever they call it, where I already talked about this before, but basically my bank was subtracting way too much money a month, and then I was like, okay, I need a new plan because this is not good. I had an expired junior plan, that's why they were subtracting so much. So I'm like, give me a different plan, and they were like, here you go. The plan is you have to have a certain amount of money on your account each month. I'm like, okay, I don't spend much, so that's fine. Secondly, I have to spend with my bank card, credit card, at least twice a month, every month. I'm like, okay, well, I don't spend that much, so that could be a problem. But I was like, okay, this month, one of my expenses could be buying a VIP. That's an expense. It's not a big expense and it would benefit me greatly. So let's do it. And I tried to do it. And then the site said that my payment was declined. I'm like, but why though? So I tried again and it was declined, consistently declined. So I'm like, okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. I wrote to Hypixel tech support. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? They said they don't know. I got like an automated message, I'm pretty sure. They had a few bullet points there to explain, maybe you did this, maybe you did that. I didn't do any of that. The last point was like, if you got an error code that starts with these letters, then you should take it up with our store, because someone else is running the store. We're just hiring them. So I'm like, my code does start with those, so I should write to them. So I wrote to them, and then that's where I left it yesterday. It takes a while for support to answer, of course. I'm not an impatient person. Today they replied and said that my card is just shit. They can't use it. Why is it shit? I don't know. But they were like, try a different payment method, like PayPal. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take my PayPal, I'm gonna put some money on it. And then I'm gonna use that. So today I transferred some money over to PayPal. It hasn't arrived yet. But once it arrives, I can actually buy VIP. I don't know if transferring money to PayPal counts as a credit card expense. It should, because it's essentially a transaction. But we'll see. And so now I'm waiting for that. And when it arrives, I'm gonna buy myself VIP. And based on past experiences, the event is still gonna be going on, so I can try private lobbies in order to get more pigs. I wanted to buy VIP yesterday so I can play on private lobbies today, but it didn't work out like that. So now this is all you get. You get private lobbies. Oh yeah, by the way, I looked up that thing, Raven, that you said to me that that flash game thing with the Lenny. Yeah. I took the title. I wrote it in YouTube. Lenny blah blah blah, Flash game or whatever. And then what I found is that the game in question that I was looking for, quote unquote, is titled Lenny Loose Jocks in Space, which is a pretty obvious title. But that's the one that I played a while back. Yeah, the game made it clear that it's a sequel. The game starts with like this credit thing, and it says like the best online Flash game sequel of all time, and then it adds like, well, it's the only Flash game online sequel of all time, and I'm like, it's a bit outdated, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's the game I was talking about. I wanted to look up some other games that I mentioned, but that I didn't know the title of. And you know what? Here is the thing. Remember when I was playing like Final Fantasy, I was talking about there are these old games that I used to play a lot that I don't remember the title of, and I can't find them anywhere. And there was one that was really similar to a Final Fantasy game because it was like top down, semi 3D with a spiky haired big sword protagonist and blah 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 blah. I never actually addressed that, but based on my memory, I said that it might be Final Fantasy VII, even though I have no idea how Final Fantasy VII would have gotten its way onto like a PC demo disc in like 2001 or something. But I will pay attention to the game, and then I'm gonna tell you if it's that game. And I can tell you it was not Final Fantasy VII demo on PC in 2001. That was not it was very similar in graphics. It might be some kind of knockoff, but it was not specifically Final Fantasy VII. So the search is still on. There are a lot of games like that, by the way, that I used to play, and I distinctly remember what they look like and how they played, but I can't remember their title, and I can't find them anywhere based on like descriptions, and it's really driving me crazy because I want to know them. Some of them I know, like, oh shit, what the fuck? Okay, well, whatever. That's not to say I haven't found any such games, because there are two games that I used to play that I didn't know the title of, and then I looked them up and I actually did in fact find them. One of them was King's Knight, which is like this fun free roam turn-based army simulator, kind of like Heroes of Might and Magic, but it's not Heroes of Might and Magic. But it was made by same people, I think, that then moved on to make Heroes of Might and Magic. I like King's Knight. I downloaded it with like DOSBox stuff, and I played it, and it's really fun to this day. The sound effects I can do without. I muted the game when I was playing, but it's a really fun game even today. And today actually, because these games, mostly I don't remember their titles, because back when I played them I didn't actually speak English. I might not even have been able to read, I was so young. So clearly I wouldn't remember the title of a game I couldn't read the title of. And that also means that for most of these games I didn't actually know the objective. So it was interesting to play King's Knight again and actually understand what's going on. Like, I finally know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to just wander around trying to amass an army Well, technically yes, I'm supposed to do that, but that's not the objective. That's just a means to an end. Because the way I played that, it was just like, you know, go around, try to fight stuff, just explore, completely ignore the objective because I didn't know it, that you are supposed to dig. Because the objective of King's Knight is to defeat various evil leaders, to get map pieces, to figure out where you have to dig for the artifact. Which makes it, if I looked up some speedruns of that game because I thought, you know, there must be some optimization. It's an old game. Old games tend to be able to be optimized. So surely, give me a second. Replying. Old games can usually be optimized. They weren't like tightly designed for repeatable experiences. But I mean, King's Knight is the lesser. Can you please go up? Yeah, because King Knight is actually very much replayable. The treasure is in a different spot every time, and there are like 3 different worlds that it can be. Each world is a huge map. It's fun. But I checked some speedruns, and of course there are some sensible speedruns where you're like 100% speedrun. You have to beat all the things, get all the map pieces, and then you find the relic and then you win. That's the 100%. But then there is the any percent speedrun, which consists of you start the game, immediately dig on your starting position, and there is the like 1 in a million chance that it's gonna be there. And if it's there, then congratulations, you got the world record. If it's not there, then you can just restart. It's a very sensible speedrun. This is what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure this guy has no idea what a shiny pig even is. So yeah, King's Knight, very good old DOS game. DOS, DOS game. The other game that I played a long time ago, I played the demo of it. I got it on a demo CD, a very real demo CD. I'm gonna talk about that later, but I had it on a demo CD, and I had no idea what it was titled, but I remembered that it was an extremely weird fighting platformer kind of game. It was just absolutely nonsensical, even to my child mind. And I mean, children can make sense of the most nonsensical stories because, you know, children logic. But that one, I was like 10 maybe, and I was like, this makes no sense. This is just nonsense for nonsense sake. And it was kind of intentional, because turns out that game is titled Dreams to Reality. It was like took place in like a dream world in some way. It's really weird. Hello, the actual V. Welcome to the stream. We are herding pigs, talking about old games. I don't have time to check auction houses right now. I've been farming these pigs for 8 days. I'm laser focused right now. When I'm done and I'm actually starting to play the game, I'm sorry, but I'm functioning under sunk cost fallacy at this point. If I stop for just a second, that's a second where someone else is still farming and I'm not. Thank you for the follow. And this is what I'm saying. Do you guys hear like the follow jingle, like or whatever? Because I can't hear anything. I ran the test, that made sound, but when the stream is actually on, I just don't hear anything. I don't know what the hell is going on. Alert box. follows. Okay, maybe it's good night. I have no idea. I think it should be good now, by the way. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. That happens way too often. I should really sleep more, but I can't.
Preferably in a residential area.
I didn't expect lyrics with my background music, but okay. This is way too common a problem for me, where I just completely forget what I was talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please.
Okay, both of them went the same way. I by now, I mean, I know that there are people who are farming more pigs than I am, but based on what items I have at my disposal, I think I'm doing very well, because I don't have like aspect of the ender, the sword. I don't even have a grappling hook, and I could buy a grappling hook, but the problem is I don't think the grappling hook is actually auctionable. You can only trade it, and I don't want to deal with that right now. I need like 500 more spider web, or whatever it's, strings, and then I can make my own. Go. And based on how long this is taking, I'm probably gonna be able to get my grappling hook before this is over. Also, I didn't say it, but I don't know if you see that I employed a new strategy for getting the most out of this this farm. Because in the past I said, like, you know, I like to use my sword because it has knockback, and I don't like to use the shiny rod because the pigs running away from me doesn't really do anything beneficial for the most part, because usually I'm hitting them anyway, so that doesn't know. But now I realized, let me show you. I can just use the sword, take the pig back, give me 1 second. Take the pig back and then swap to the rod and click on the orb like that, and boom, I just got 25% extra coin. This would be the 7,777 coins. I got like 2,000 more because I clicked on the orb with the rod. So overall I'm getting 25% extra coin, which is just a nice little bonus. I mean, if I have it, might as well use it. And I'm using every advantage that I have at this point. I'm pretty sure there is nothing I mean, I could reforge my armor to give as my speed as possible, but at that point, I don't really want to do that. I'm fine with the Titanic stuff. I mean, overall, reforging my armor would give me 12 extra speed. My sword gives me 40. And you can see the how much difference 40 makes. 12 would not make that much of a difference, for sure. Come on. So, yeah. Question, Raven. What is your inner feeling saying? Am I going to get the relic in the next 4 hours? Hello, Webinar. You can answer too. I don't know if you. This is what I'm talking about. Captain Toast, you left your pig here. Come on. Yeah, so he actually understands what to do. He's doing it pretty slow though. Like he's nowhere near as fast as I am. Nowhere near as optimized. Raven, when the Magic 8 Ball says that, ask again later. 1 second later is still later, so ask it again please. Also later is gonna be 4 hours later, so that's cheating. No. Yeah, I'm not count. See? That would have been 50,000 and I just got 12,500 extra just because I clicked on the orb with the shiny rod. So that's totally worth using like this. Not worth using for actual herding because the movement speed boost usually doesn't come into play, and even if you try to focus on it, like okay, I'm not gonna hit the pig, I'm only gonna herd it with the rod. The pig gets fast enough that it gets really uncontrollable. But clicking on the orb is worth it. Okay, my other question would be, what's the chance that in the next 4 hours anyone on the server is going to find it? Or like rather, I want to make it a yes or no question, so do you think anyone on the server is gonna find it in the next 4 hours? Also, Verburner, how are you? I already talked about how tired I am. My general sleep schedule has been messed up by the pigs, but that's just what they do, they mess things up. Can't be mad at them for that. I'm already mad at them for a billion other things, so it doesn't fit on the list anymore. Right. Just what do you mean? What do you mean, Verburner? What stare at the game? Which game? It's kind of weird, by the way. Is a Magic 8 Ball like? Oh yeah, you told me about you told me about that. You can put it in a like a side of the cardboard box and pretend it's a TV show. I used to do that. Like not with TV shows. I made like a laptop out of cardboard, and then I drew a game on a piece of paper, slid it into the cardboard, and then I pretended to play it. I think my computer was busted at the time. On one hand, it's kind of, you know, a bit of an obsession. But on the other hand, hey, the kid's doing arts and crafts. That's cute, that's fun, that's interesting, no? Made like a cardboard box laptop. Who would say no to that? And it was like really a cardboard. I don't know where I found it. I think I had like a book that had like all kind of arts and crafts stuff in it. Pen and paper, yeah. Actually, I'm considering installing and trying Unity again, but with something very simple. Okay, Verburner, I have a question for you in regards... How much do you know Unity? Is that what you use to make your game? Oh, Game Maker. Well, can you make an educated an educated estimate, because I've been considering making a game, and how long do you guys think it would take to create a game, or like the frame of the game, that's basically a menu system and a turn-based RPG combat system that uses mainly text-based information, like very little actual graphical stuff? How long would that take? Just the base, nothing else around it, just the base combat system and some menus. Only that, not the game itself, just the combat, turn-based, text-based combat system, nothing else. Because everything else around it is just a matter of scope, yes, but the system itself, turn-based, just think of a general. Because I kind of want to do that and then flavor it with a lot of like story stuff. Make it free-form play, but include story elements and an ultimate goal. And of course, everything else around it, you have to write it, you have to come up with the details for the combat, like how it actually works and whatever. But the base itself should not take that long. Well, of course, it would take long for me. I'm just saying as an average when you already know what you're doing. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can't do that before this pig event ends, because okay, I have to do the event while it lasts. Yeah, maybe I will. There are so many things I want to dabble in. Like, I want to make some music. I actually have an outright song. Well, not lyrics, but like music type song in my head that if I learned like LMMS, I would be able to do it. Because I know what instruments I want in it, I know what the melody is, I know generally what accompanying instruments I want. Where the fuck are you going? I want, but first of all, there are pigs, and secondly, whenever I try to use LMMS, I always get stuck at the very start. Like, I need this instrument. How can I get it? And I'm like... There are a lot of tutorials online about how to make the music. Oh shit, wait a second. I forgot to put full screen on. There we go. When I'm not streaming, I'm playing on in windowed mode because it's a lot easier to switch between windows then. But when I'm streaming, I go full screen for the ratio, and I forgot that. Should be fine now. So there are a lot of tutorials about, you know, you put it in there, put it in there, make a music. This is how you put the notes on the roll, and then that's the music. And I'm like, okay, but where the fuck did you get those instruments? And there are just no tutorials on that. And whatever tutorials is just says, find the instruments you want. Here are some sites. And then, okay, what do I would do with those files? Like, how do I put them in? And then when I do learn it, because it's not impossible, I'm not saying that there's literally no help with that, because I figured it out in the past. I figure it out, I go in, and I'm like, I can't make music, and I leave. And the next time when I actually know what to make, I go back, and I'm like, I completely forget everything that I've learned. I'm kind of like that with coding as well. I used to study coding, and I'm like, okay, I learned how to do this, I actually know how, and then I go back later, I'm like, I know nothing. Everything is just evaporated from my mind how to do this stuff. But yeah, I really want to make games. I should really gather my willpower, so to say, and just get on with it. Turn-based RPG stuff is so common. Okay, well, this pig is a lost cause. Turn-based RPG combat stuff is so common in games. I can guarantee. What the fuck are you doing? Well, he jumped down and. Oh wait, no. The moment the pig is on the edge, I should just give it up because it's. I mean, 1 in 10 times it works out. Other times I just waste my time. Not worth it. Gather my willpower and just learn. Where am I going? Just learn, and as I started saying, turn-based RPG stuff that I want to make right now is so common. A lot of people want to do that. A lot of people like that genre. Where the fuck are you going? Just run away from me, you piece of shit pig. I can guarantee there are a lot of tutorials on how to do it. So I really don't have to stretch myself very far to find help with that. But in the olden times I wanted to make, like, you know, match 3 type RPG thing. It's not the first one, definitely. And I looked up, okay, how do you make a match 3 game? And I found a video tutorial, and a guy is like, okay, here's how you do match 3. It's very simple. And then over the next 45 minutes he writes like 2000 lines of code. Doesn't really explain what the code does. It's just, this is how you do it. You write this, it's a match 3. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna remember it like this. The way I have to learn is write a line of code and then say, okay, this is what it does. And then write, okay, this is what we're trying to do here. Explain not just the how, but also the why, because I need to understand why the hell you're doing what you're doing, otherwise I'm not gonna learn it. Like, why are you writing that? Why are you doing that? Why that specifically? Doesn't seem to make any sense to me, because you just wrote a word, put 2 brackets at the end, it turned golden, and then that's your code. That's your line of code. Like, what the fuck does that do? So yeah, that's usually my biggest hurdle when I try to learn this stuff. Come on, big. Work with me here. Werburner, how do you like the music? I thought I would improve a little bit. Now it's a music radio. I was promised that this station is completely copyright safe. That's why I picked it. And if you put in the chat comment, you can even vote on the next music, if you want. I could keep it open on my phone and vote on them myself. Actually, let's do that. Give me a second. rainwave.cc/ oh There we go. Now I can vote too. Now where the hell do I'm just gonna put it here. My phone. Okay. Back to work. Yeah, I didn't really expect music with lyrics. These are, as far as I understand, video game music. But then again, I also saw like Final Fantasy music, and I know that some of those do have lyrics. Final Fantasy likes to be like theatrical. In general, Japanese, so like JRPGs, like being theatrical. Sometimes they have like lyrics. The most famous one that I know about, the Final Fantasy song Memories of Life or something like that, the title. Look at all this pork. So I know that one, that's a cool one. A really slow one. Melodies of Life, that's the title, not Memories. I don't know which one that's from, but it's from one of the later ones. 8, 9. Or maybe that was just the video that came with it. I'm not generally a huge fan. Okay, and usually the music I like, I don't like specific genres. What I like is like melodic music, so like nice melodies, which can be pop or rock or metal. All of them can be melodic. Jazz I really like. I usually don't like rap or techno very much, because those tend to be less about melody. But it's all the more interesting when I do find like a techno or a rap music that I like, because it's kind of, you know, it's a bit melodic. For example, I'm trying to find an example. A good rap, I don't know if it's full rap, but I Wanna Be a Millionaire, that's a pretty good one. It's fun to sing, it's fun to listen to. It has a melodic refrain, even if the rest isn't melodic, but it fits in there. As for techno, I had a part of my life, late teens probably, where I was really into techno, like old style techno, not this new style. Specifically trance and nightcore. Basically music, techno music where they take an already existing music and remix it specifically with techno in mind. Nightcore is a bit less so. Sometimes nightcore works, but as far as I could tell, a lot of the nightcore that I found, nightcore techno, whatever they called, a lot of what I found was just they took a music, they took a song, and then they sped it up and made it like chipmunk music, and that's it. That's nightcore done. A lot of them were just bad. But there were actually a few songs, for example Silver Lining, which I listened to the original and I actually preferred the nightcore version, where it was a bit faster and the more toots. But I listened to a lot of I'm trying to remember what nightcore songs were my favorites. The previous one that I mentioned, that was good, of course, Silver Lining. There was that Nintendo song, Forever Gamer or whatever it was called, that was pretty cool. It was good because it was extremely calm, for a techno song at least. The lyrics were almost whispered, which is like it was talking about, you know, sitting in the living room late evening, playing on the TV and stuff, and the whispery lyrics just emphasized that, and I really like that. Even though most of the games that they listed I never actually played because I didn't have a console back then. But whatever. There was like, was that one? Angel with a Shotgun, that was pretty good, but I'm pretty sure that one exists as a normal song. I never listened to that one. Also, that title is like very eye-catching, if I say so myself. There was more, but I don't remember them. When I was younger, I was also really into this like harder rock music. Like, okay, has anyone here, that is the two of you and anyone else who's lurking, potentially if you want to answer, has anyone here heard of the band Vision Divine? Because that's the one I've listened to a lot when I was like a teen or whatever. They are this harder rock style music. Specifically, when I was listening to them, I had the album titled The Perfect Machine. A lot of their songs were also very like, how do I say it, depressing. You know, about very serious topics. Just voting on the next song. Well, I do listen to music, although not so much lately, because usually when I'm on the computer I watch videos instead. Video game music can be good. I mean, okay, here's a discussion topic. What is the game that you've played in your entire life that had the best soundtrack ever? And no, Guitar Hero and these kind of games don't count. It has to be specifically video game music. Yeah, of course. And it can't be your own game. That's another rule. You can't say Guitar Hero. I have played a Guitar Hero, by the way. I'm gonna speak. Remind me to speak of that later, because that was an experience as well. Divinity Original Sin 2. I have no idea what that is. I don't know that game. Okay, well, I don't know what I expected. You guys are just gonna say all kind of these games that I've never seen before. Raven can post links for you if you really want to. But if I had to, I mean, I have 3 games that I have big nostalgia for that actually includes their soundtrack and not just the game itself. Oh, no. Pig, no, don't jump down. Keeps happening. No, you have to like right click on his name, I think, and then you can PM. I think that's how it works. Can I? Fall down, please. Fall down. Ah, fuck. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna check it later on. I can't really look at it right now on stream. I can guarantee most of that music is copyrighted, so I can't look at it. I can't look at it on stream. But I think the 3 games that I mentioned prior with my favorite soundtrack would be, first of all, Rayman, the first one. I already played the remake on the stream. That had most of the songs, so you should be at least somewhat familiar with it if you watched. Where did the other one go? There it is. Oh shit, it's on the edge. Save the pig! So Rayman has this very nice orchestral soundtrack, I really like it. The other one is Croc, Legend of the Gobbos. Very good music, especially the desert island music, very like Latino, I think. I really like that. And the third one is Jazz Jackrabbit 2, which I don't see many people actually knowing about, even though I played that a lot, and it had a level editor, so I played it even more just to make my own levels. I was already a fucking game designer back then. Yes, I just said Jack Jackrabbit 2. I don't think it had a subtitle. What? What's with all the pork I'm getting? Let's clear the inventory a little. Whoops. Yeah, I had the demo for a while, the Jack Jackrabbit 2 demo, and then I got the full version as well, and the full version came with its own level editor, so I now only played the game repeatedly, and single and multiplayer with my brother, but also made my own levels in it. And the funny thing is that the demo of the game didn't actually have any of the levels that were in the full version. They made an entirely new set of levels just to use as the demo, so they can use levels to show off the various mechanics of the game. And of course the full version did include the demo levels, but they weren't actually part of the story. They were just that saying, yeah, hey, this was Jack Jackrabbit 2 demo. You can play it, it's fun. And it was fun. And it had really cool music. Most of it was jazz, of course, but they did mix it up with some other like techno music in the laboratory levels or whatever. And yeah, I played it a lot. Like, probably one of my most played games as a kid, Jack Jackrabbit 2, and Croc and Rayman, those 3. An honorable mention goes to... Well, no, wait, no, that doesn't extrovert. I wanted to say honorable mention goes to Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, but then I remembered the music didn't actually work with that game. I don't know why. It had some really... It wasn't like epic music or whatever. It was atmospheric music primarily because it was a shooter game. But some of like the problem with Turok 2, I don't know why, but you know, it was one of those things where you had to, I think you had to have the CD in and that you could play, but the music for some reason never played for me. However, if I took the CD, put it into the radio, the CD player, that could play the music just fine. Every single track. and they were pretty cool. They were really atmospheric for the most part. Video game music can be really interesting. Like there is this game, what was that? No More Heroes 2. I never actually played it. I had the first one. I played for like a few minutes on like Wii or whatever, and then I gave up. But I didn't bother. And but I looked up some, you know, music and stuff online. I used to just browse wherever, and I don't know how I found it, but No More Heroes 2 has one specific music song called Philistine, and I really like that one. That was really cool. The English version specifically, because there are two separate versions. There is the English version, as there is a Japanese version. I think the Japanese version is a bit more mechanic. The English version is a lot more natural, and I really like that. But if I'm really going that far, there is like what was that called? There is like that WarioWare song about Ashley, but I don't remember what was the title, unless it's just Ashley's song or whatever. Oh yeah, I know where I heard that. It was, they put it in Smash Brothers Brawl. It was a soundtrack in that game, Ashley's song, and that was really cool as well. Actually, a lot of remixed music in Smash Brothers, especially Brawl. Brawl is the one that I played the most, so that's what I can talk about the most. There were some songs in that one that I really liked. Ashley's song was good. A lot of the Donkey Kong music was good in that. Donkey Kong just has this upbeat jazz type of thing going on for it, which I really like. The Earthbound song, the ending song in Brawl, was a really good remix. And there were some really weird ones in it that were like from completely unknown games, like the Swan Lesson or whatever it was called. That was a really good song, even though it was very short, very chill. I should look these up sometime. I have never played a single Animal Crossing game, sadly. But that kind of reminds me, like, don't even get me started on like video game fun music. Those are well, yeah, I think what Nintendo tends to do with like Animal Crossing, Pokemon, whatever, is that the different games tend to be based on different areas of the world, like how. But I don't know specific examples, but certain Pokemon regions represent certain countries or regions in real life. You can help me with an example if you yeah. For example, Sun and Moon represents Hawaii. One of them represents like London, like Britain. I don't remember which. One of them is France. Isn't like XY France? Or am I thinking it wrong? Paris, France, yeah, Paris. That's basic X or Y. I don't really remember which one I had, but that was the only. That's the only Pokemon game I ever played for real. Yeah. But that's how I suspect, because those are the ones that I actually played. I think I played Y. I had the dragon thing. Try to think of what other Pokemon games take place in Europe. I can only imagine like Okay, here is a thing. Here's a question. I mean, probably. Okay, before I ask, okay. Clear mind. 1 second. Let me gather my thoughts. What do I want to say? Okay. Sword and Shield are the UK. Okay, that was my first question. My second question, like, imagine if Nintendo made a Pokemon game with a region inspired by your country. Of course, Raven, you can't really do this because your country was already a Pokemon game, Sword and Shield. Yes, that's what I'm saying, but what would it be like? Like, if that was the case, like, if there are like 2 legendary Pokemons related to that region, what would they be like? Because I already know, if they made like a Hungary-inspired one, I can bet that if they make 2 versions, then the 2 legendaries, one for each version, one of them would be a great bird, and one of them would be a horse, or like a stag, a white stag. And the bird would be like this great bird of prey. And the stag, the white stag, would have... The problem is they already made a stag specifically for Pokemon X. That was a stag, although it was a dark stag, and this would be a white stag. But I think that's not very creative. Maybe they could make it a horse. But it's not as typical. I mean, if you think of like typical Hungarian mythical creatures that represent the country, one of them is the bird, the Turul. That's basically the most important one, so that would have to be it, one of them. And the other would be the Miracle Deer, the great white stag. It's part of like the origin story, the mythology, not the actual origin story, of course, but like the mythology, origin legend. I don't know what they call it. As for the region itself, I don't think they would make a legendary Pokemon inspired by Hitler. That seems like a stretch to me. But as for the Hungarian region itself, it's pretty obvious. Most of it would be plains. That would be an area that's just a big lake. But otherwise mostly plains. This is the best that can happen with double tagging. No, the other, no. Go back. Please cooperate, Pig. Thank you. Well, I mean, if we go there, like Apfelstrudel, then yeah, Hungarian stuff would be, you know, let's say, great bird of prey, great white stag, Palinka, boar, like vine in general, Kürtös kalács, Kürtös cake, whatever it's called in English. I mean, those could be Pokemon, but they wouldn't necessarily be like legendary. There would be like Pokemon that represent different, like how I'm pretty sure the UK version had like this, I don't remember what kind of dog, but specifically British type dog turned into a Pokemon. So those kind of things, of course, that would be a lot. Like that would be one that's just a bottle of Palinka, and it confuses it has all kind of moves that confuses the opponent. Obviously. One time I tried to, because there is this website that I don't think I'm allowed to say because Konami is gonna get mad at me. But there is a website where you can duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! But you can also, it has the added functionality of letting you make your own custom cards and then use them in custom duels. And one time, I'm very interested in game design, so I jumped on the opportunity and I tried to make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype based on Hungarian mythology. I actually got pretty far. With it, but it got a bit too excessive. I think if I ever got back to it, I should like trim it down a little, because I made it so like it had 3 different archetype play styles, and I think 2 or even 1 would be more than enough. I don't know. But what I had was pretty cool. I'm just checking. Legyen Chrono Cross music. That sounds good. I've also been working on my very own card game on the side. You already know about it, you too. But I've went through so many different iterations of that game, and then I've been looking up online some tips for designs, because I designed it so far from the original intent that I wasn't really feeling it. And I came to the conclusion about the game that I probably over designed it very much. So, well, now I'm hurling pigs, but after I'm done hurling pigs and I have some fucking free time from this event game, please, then I'm gonna go back to the card game and probably rethink the entire thing, because usually, you know, think of any like these collectible card games that you know, and then take one card from it and just look at it and consider that if a person who has no idea what the game is about, how it's played, what it even is, looks at the card, how much of that card do they actually understand? Like if you take like a Magic the Gathering card, and there are like numbers on the bottom, like 5/4, and then there is a text box, and then it says legendary creature elf. It's pretty understandable. I mean, maybe not the numbers, but if you know the absolute basic of such card games, you're gonna know that the numbers are just attack defense, that's it. Or in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you look at the card and it says attack 1000, defense 800 and stuff, there are elements of these cards that are not immediately understandable, like the upper right corner mana symbols in Magic, or the level stars on Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever. But in general, if you look at a card, you see the thing, you see that it says Blue Eyes White Dragon, it says 2500 attack. You say, okay, that seems pretty much. That's quite a lot. Now, if you look at my card, you're not gonna understand shit. There are several more numbers than default. There are like words on it that don't seem to do anything. It's just a mess. So once this event is over, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rethink the entire game. It's a good game, yes, but I kind of want to make the game accessible and not just, okay, this does that, and a 5-minute explanation. I'm sure I can simplify it without losing out on too much design space. Because yes, most of those well, I do want to keep the... I don't want to say specifics because people in the chat don't know anything about the game, so it doesn't matter if I say that there is like fucking hostility, and then what does hostility do? Who knows, who cares? But I want to keep the base idea, but just rethink how it actually works. And I already have some ideas. I have some ideas already. I'm gonna run it through you guys later on, after this event is over. And then probably rethink the entire game, card types, how it works, how things go. Yeah, that's the benefit of making a card game digitally, as opposed to us intending it to be like a standard game. Yeah, if it was digital, you know, I had problems with things like, how should I make the layout of the card? How can I make the layout so that everything fits on it? And it was like a pain. And it still is a pain, I still haven't finalized it. In a digital game, that doesn't matter. You make the picture, you add the most basic info on the card, and then the rest, like abilities. You can read the abilities by hovering over the card. You can't do that in real life. You also can't do that in like Tabletop Simulator, where I'm testing these games. Because currently the game that I have is fun. I'm pretty sure it's fun. I've tested it with several people. Every single person said that it has the obvious potential to be fun, but every single time I also got the feeling that the game is just way too complicated. Like from the get-go, it's not like, you know, Magic the Gathering, fundamentally very simple, and then when you get deeper into it, it gets complicated. It has like 200 different keywords and whatever, and all the synergies and whatever that you have to keep in mind and stuff. Then it gets complicated, but these games are always simple from the get-go, and that's what I want to achieve. So yeah, but again, I can't work on that because these pigs are keeping me hostage. Yes, eventually I'm more making this card game as like a proof of concept, so I can say I can make card games, and then later on when I want to make something actually, you know, excessive, probably gonna make it digitally when I actually know how at that point. But yeah, I have big ambitions and big laziness, so it's hard to act on it. That's a curse of the lazy person. I mean, being lazy by itself is... maybe whatever. Oh yeah, if you're talking about like video game music, Stardew Valley also has really good soundtrack. Obviously, it was made to be chill. Terraria Otherworld is also very good. What else? There are some good tracks in Beyond Good and Evil, but though the soundtrack of that game was generally designed to be atmospheric, not necessarily actual music. You fucking pig. We're not gonna get back in time. Hey, you know what? Fuck you, pig. I can guarantee I'm not gonna get you back in time anyway, so I'm just leaving you here. I hate it when they fall over the fence. It would be simpler. I mean, no, it wouldn't be simpler even if you had like a grappling hook. It would save you a few seconds going over the fence instead of having to go up here. But once you're over there, you can't use the grappling hook to bring the pig back. You still have to hurl it around. And that just takes forever. See, it disappeared. I would not have gotten back in time. So I was starting to talk about like games that I played as a kid but don't remember the title of. Do you have any like that? Is it just me? Because I was playing these games when I was a kid to the point where I could not actually read or speak English. So I couldn't read the title, so I don't remember the title, but there are a lot of games that I would love to find for nostalgia's sake, but I just... The descriptions don't help, I cannot find them. Again, as I said, there are two games that I didn't know and I looked online and I actually found it, either on my own or with help. One of them was King's Knight, which is a really good game, and Dreams to Reality, which is a really weird game. Also completely obscure. Okay, well, I'm going to describe a few games. Old games. And now for space game, we also have Space Station similar to... Wasn't that Albion? Hello Rayman. No, I don't. I've been playing for like a week. I don't know these endgame stuff. Raven, wasn't that Albion by any chance? Because I remember Albion. I didn't speak English, but I could actually read by then, so I remember the title. I mean, maybe Albion was on the PS1, I don't know. I played it on PC. Albion was that like this. Okay, the easiest way to explain Albion's story is... Have you guys seen Avatar? The Blue People version. I mean, probably. Albion is basically that story. So like people in space, they find a new planet, they want to mine the planet, but they're checking for signs, and then two people go down to the planet to check if the signs are correct, and then they find out their spaceship, their shuttle crash lands, and they find out that the planet is not a deserted wasteland like the reading said, but a lush jungle with many kind of animals and even sentient people, including humans, by the way. And then they work to try to get back to the spaceship to warn everyone before they start mining it. Basically Avatar, basically that's what it is. Almost point for point actually. Except this one was released in like 1995 or something. It's really good, by the way. You can buy on JOG.com, very cheap. This is not sponsored, I'm just saying. But also, if you're interested in that kind of game, it's like a turn-based RPG in general, just a really story-oriented one. But I have to warn you that it does have some dungeons. Like sometimes you have to go into these dungeons, and the dungeons, the game in general is like this overhead view, like this bird's eye view. But the dungeons change into this really weird first-person 3D perspective that can be very nauseating to some people. It was very early 3D. And one of the later dungeons take so extremely long that it's almost as long as the entire rest of the game combined. So that can get very tedious, that one dungeon. But if you can get past that, and you can get, it's not that you can be sensitive or whatever, it just looks really weird. Like it's very smooth camera movement, but the graphics themselves just are, well, you can probably find videos about this on YouTube actually, Albion. But if you're just interested in the story and are willing to play through some tedious places, you can do that. And the story is really good. Rare units, I don't know, but before that, I want to explain. Okay, so there is multiple games actually. So one of them was King's Knight, Dreams to Reality. I also found another game that I played a long time ago on my own that I don't know what that is. That was Hidden and Dangerous. It was like this military game, semi-third person, semi-first person, semi-strategy. The idea behind that game is that you command like a special unit where for each mission you can take up to four soldiers, and you have to like sneak around and be like strategic about what you do. It was really cool. And it was free back when I downloaded. It was just completely free. Hidden and Dangerous Deluxe is the one that I played. It was really cool. Never finished it because it got really difficult in the second half or so. I got pretty close. I watched playthroughs. I got pretty close to the end, but never actually finished it. And then there was this free game that I used to play with my brother that is like frag-based shooter, but very cartoony graphics, 3D graphics. The idea was you pick characters, you pick a level, and then you go around shooting. You try to shoot each other, and power-ups appear around the map that can increase your power, your speed, your jump, I think, and one other thing. And whenever you get enough power-ups, there was this like narrator person, like announcer, and I remember that when you get enough power-ups, you know, that increases your power, then the narrator just goes like, power up, extends the power world, and then power speed up, said that kind of stuff. We had a lot of fun with it, but I just don't remember what it was called. Another one, and this is one of the biggest ones because I specifically remember pretty much everything about this next game that I'm gonna explain. You would think, based on what I remember, you would think that it's a really distinct game that's relatively easy to remember, and yet I cannot find anything about it. Okay, so what it is, it's like a side-scrolling shooter. If you know Contra, it plays essentially like Contra, but it has more of like a Japanese aesthetic to it. Like a bit more cartoony anime aesthetic, not specifically anime, just a tad, just a hint of it. And it's like one guy that runs through, and there are all of these soldiers that come against you, and you shoot them, obviously. And it has like this robotic undertone. Specifically, I remember that the final boss took place in on a moving elevator platform, and the boss was one of those bosses where, you know, there is like the boss is the background, and the boss has a head and two arms that come from left and right and try to punch you, and you have to shoot the fists, and then if you shoot them enough they drop down and they disappear, and then you killed it. And I distinctly remember that I got to the end of the game once, I beat that boss, and then the game just soft locked. Like there was no boss on the screen anymore. Both of the fists were done. The head was destroyed, but the elevator still kept going and nothing happened. And I was like, well, I guess I beat the game. And then I quit. And I don't remember what it was called, but it was a lot of fun. It's like this side-scrolling shooting up kind of game. If you can find it, I would love to see it, because I want to play. It was PC specifically. Every single game I'm saying here is on PC, because I only had a PC back then. What is this music? Oh, Beyond Good and Evil music. Speak of the devil. I didn't even vote on it. Shut up, Douglas. You don't know what I've been through. Don't make fun of my peak PTSD. Streamer. I think... No. I think this is the fourth one. I mean, I could go back, but... Yeah. This is the fourth day. Fourth or fifth? Yeah, okay, so this melody. Listen to this melody. This melody was the main melody of Beyond Good and Evil, and I loved that music. Not this specifically, this is like a variation on it, but this just makes me remember that, and it's great. Now, Raven, remind me on Discord to listen to Beyond Good and Evil music after the stream, because I'm gonna forget by then, but I really want to. Okay, can I save this pic from the... Nope. Fuck you, pig. There is one more game that I remember that I don't remember the title of. It was an RPG, not a JRPG. JRPG. It was... I remember that I couldn't... Again, I couldn't read, at least not English. So it's one of those games where I just played and I made up my own dialogue. Like when someone said something, I just guessed what they were saying. I made up my own dialogue, my own story, and it's fun. So this was one of those. But in general, it started out with the main character in a desert. And these character sprites were like pretty tall. Like 2 or 3 blocks taller than they are wide. And it was like in the desert, and then there is like a woman that is calling for help. And the main character very eagerly runs up to her and asks what he can help with. But it was an ambush, and he's ambushed by bandits who the woman worked for. And then they knock him out, steal all his stuff, and then he wakes up in a town, and that's where the game starts. What's the title of this game? I remember very early you get to like a swampy forest area. Not entirely early, because it's PC. Everything I played is PC. It might be other consoles, but I played them on PC. It was back then when I didn't actually understand what RPGs were about. I was like, oh yeah, I control this guy and I can go wherever I want. And that's not how it works. In these RPGs, especially the older ones, usually you were meant to grind levels. You know, before you can go to the next area, you have to grind levels so you're not weak. And as a kid, of course, I just had no concept of grinding. So I always just kept moving on, and I'm like, these enemies are way too strong for me to beat. What should I do? And going back to an earlier thing and killing enemies there until I level up did not even cross my mind. What I did is just keep going, try to avoid all the enemies, keep running from every fight, find all kind of glitches that let me pass through enemies and whatever. Is Mystic Quest is lucky? Because I kind of heard that game was kind of bad. Like it was created in Japan specifically for an American audience because America didn't really like the other Final Fantasy games, so Square Enix just thought surely they don't like them because Americans are too dumb to appreciate the design, so they made a game that was extremely dumbed down and nobody liked it. Was it? Or maybe it was just Pro Jared. I know that Pro Jared made a video on it and he didn't like it. And he said that a lot of people didn't like it, but maybe that refers to like Americans. Americans didn't like it. Maybe Europeans liked it. I don't know. Whatever. I never played. I mean, you know, Final Fantasy VII on this stream was the first Final Fantasy game I ever played, except for 14, but that doesn't count, and Brave Exvius, but that doesn't count because that's a fucking mobile game. Let's see. Nope, way too expensive. I'm just gonna buy at the store. Still only 6. Forevermore. Just buy 2. Well, you really should have known. I mean, it has all the hallmarks of a Final Fantasy game. Just dumb down. If I had to guess what my first JRPG was, not counting the ones that I don't remember, because or remember the name of, because I couldn't exactly say those, then it would probably have to be Ahriman's Prophecy. And the reason it was my first is because it was free, and as a kid I was always, once I got internet, I was always on the lookout for free games. That's how I got most of my games, just whatever was free online, be it a demo or a full game or whatever. Just get it, it's free. That's my nice game that I play. Spectrobes, I don't know that. But Ahriman's Prophecy, funny thing, I really like to play that game, but I never actually got very far with it. Again, that's a very grindy game, Ahriman's Prophecy, and I had no concept of grinding. So, okay, here's how that works. At the start of the game, you start as like this redhead girl. I forgot what she was called. I'm just gonna call her Red. And you start in like this little village, and it's your naming day. Whereas you get your you get your name, your adult name, not like you know, like you have a child name, and then you grow up, you get like a specific name that describes you. And it was her day to go to the elder and get an adult name and become an adult and full member of society, and she was very excited and whatever. And stuff happens. You have to help some people to find a lost cow and whatever, you know, get familiar with the game. You go to the elder, to her cave, and she's like, people keep bringing their youth here, I fed up with this shit, but then she does it anyway because she's a kind old woman. She just hates that the villagers don't leave her alone. So she's like looking to the pond of truth or whatever and tell me what you see or whatever. And the red goes there, she looks into the pond and she sees like the main villain being resurrected. And then the old woman is like, step away from the pool. And then she refuses to give her a name and tells her to go to the capital, the main island. Because she has like a great destiny or whatever. So she's like, I just wanted the name, why are you sending me there? But then she goes anyway. She goes back to the village, says goodbye to her mother, and then the mother says, you know, I don't want to send you all alone away on this obviously dangerous journey to the main island in civilization or whatever. So go to the blacksmith. He has a lot of sons. Ask him to lend one of his sons as a bodyguard. And then she goes there and she's there and she says to the blacksmith, hey, I need your help. And then one of the sons are like, oh, I heard about this girl, she's the one that didn't get a name. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then they just laugh at her and nobody wants to go with her. But then the youngest son of the blacksmith says, I will go and I will protect you. So then he goes and then he joins the party. And then you have to get enough money for the ferry. And obviously I did figure out that I have to grind the money and then get on the ferry. Okay, I grinded that much. And then get on the main island. Avoid every enemy there. Go to the capital. Go to like this magic school of whatever. There's someone there that I'm supposed to talk to. And then what happens is that basically the school enrolls the both of them. Red as like a wizard girl, and Blue, he had blue hair. Blue, the blacksmith's son, as like a warrior. And then like 4 years pass. That was the prelude. Now 4 years pass and they are like adults and they are pretty skilled warrior and wizard. And then suddenly I think what happens there is that you are graduating. And you're like, we are very close to graduation, we are amazing. But then some messenger comes from the king saying that, oh, the princess have been kidnapped by an evil person. We need help from the college of magic stuff. And then the College of Magic stuff is like, okay, this is your graduation stuff. You two go and save the princess. And yeah, you do that. And I remember distinctly. Taking your time. Everything out there was much higher level than I was, because again, I had no concept of level grinding. So I went around trying to find this princess and the bad guy, avoiding as many enemies as I possibly can, which was actually easier than in your normal JRPG because the enemies actually appeared in the overworld. You could see them and avoid them if you're good enough. Couldn't avoid the boss, the bad guy who kept the princess hostage. You had to beat him up, and that wasn't gonna happen with my level. So what did I do? Whoops. What did I do when I figured out this guy kills me in one hit each? Because I had two characters, that's 2 hits total. What am I supposed to do? Well, I found a glitch. Because what happens is, you know, there is a button for attacking and the button for opening the menu, which pauses the game. And in the menu you could pick like spells, and then your next attack would be that spell that you picked. But what I found out is that if I attack, then immediately pause, and then I exit the pause. When I exit the pause, the timer for the enemy attack is reset. So for example, if the enemy is supposed to attack me every 2 seconds, because it was real time, you didn't go like a and then like in Final Fantasy you get like this area and then everyone in turn based. No, this combat was real time. And if the enemy was supposed to attack you every 2 seconds, but you paused every 1 second, then when you unpause, the timer resets to 2 seconds. So what I could do is attack the enemy, pause, unpause, attack, quickly pause again. Rinse and repeat. And the enemy could never touch me if I did it right. And even then I was so under leveled for the boss that with that strategy it took me like 15 minutes to beat the boss. And after I did that, saved the princess, went back to the capital and was like, this game sucks, it takes forever to kill anything. And then I didn't go back to it. Nowadays, obviously, I know that what I'm supposed to do is just grind. It's a very, very grindy game. I mean, I was like 12 maybe. Well, I wasn't 12 because I would have been able to read. I wasn't able to read. So maybe I was like 6, 7 maybe. I mean, I like turn-based RPG. I mean, I like RPGs in general. Every single one of them. I mean, there are some specific, like, for example, like if we're talking combat system, I probably like the real time, like the Final Fantasy VII remake does the real time thing. I would probably like that type, and I like the type where, you know, it's your turn, think about what you want to do, select what you want to do, and then do it. What I don't like is in the original Final Fantasy VII that I actually played on this stream, it's sort of semi this and that because you have like this action bar that has to fill up and then you can select, but once it fills up and you get the selection menu, until you actually press something, it doesn't pause, it keeps going. So if you're trying to think about what you want to do, you can't do that. I like to either think about what... Okay, let me put it like this. Either let me think about what I want to do, or make it so I don't have to think about what I want to do. Which would be the Final Fantasy VII Remake system. You don't really have to think about what you want to do, that's more an action RPG, yes. It's not turn-based, but it still has that specific area combat, you know. I'm pretty sure even the designers of that game realized that the original system was kind of too much of a mixed bag, where the game just hurries you when you're supposed to be making strategic decisions. That's what I don't like. Don't make me hurry, or don't make me have to hurry. That's what I would say, I guess. It's kind of funny because when I was watching Raven play the Final Fantasy VII Remake, the combat system, the story in general, and even the graphics very much reminded me of Beyond Good and Evil. Like, it's almost the same genre. Same story genre, same gameplay genre, same way, it plays the same way, except Beyond Good and Evil doesn't have the pause menu where you can select specific moves. It's more an action game. There are no RPG elements in that either. It's literally just, well, you don't level up in that. In that sense, it's not an RPG. You do unlock new abilities and stuff, but it's not an RPG. But otherwise, the combat system, the story setup, whatever, They were all very familiar. I don't know what ATB means. It's not even the timer, because the timer happens before you can act. And then the timer fills up and then you can act, but the game doesn't pause to let you think about what you want to do. That's the main problem. Yeah, I don't like that. Speaking of which, who here played Beyond Good and Evil? Okay, so Raven, when you have like a downtime in your stream, you kind of have to play Beyond Good and Evil. It was Game of the Year in 2006, but it gets really little actual recognition. Like, a lot of people don't know it, or like don't know about it, because it got Game of the Year, but otherwise it kind of flew under the radar. It's like the one of those hidden classics that kind of emerge later on. Like Psychonauts is another one like that, and Brutal Legend. Yeah, the sequel actually, let me just say something about Beyond Good and Evil. Made this like Space Monkey program, whereas the community was able to help out in designing the game, not specifically game design, more like art design, music, the soundtrack and whatever. And the fun thing is, back when I found out about it, like I found out, hey, they are making Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's cool, I'm gonna follow that. Hello Egonko, welcome to the stream. We are just herding pigs here while talking about games. That's all we do here for the past 2 weeks. It never ends. But yeah, when I found out about, hey, they are making Beyond Good and Evil 2, I really loved the first one. My in-game name is I Am Current, but I'm not accepting donations, in-game donations like items, and I'm very busy farming the pigs, so I can't interact with other people in the game right now. What is this music? Castlevania, of course. But now I hear it. Castlevania has some really good music. Raven, remind me in 10 minutes to talk about Castlevania and music. But now I want to finish the story about Beyond Good and Evil 2. So I'm like, I liked the first game, I really liked it. The problem is, the first game ended with a huge cliffhanger. Like, you know, you finish the game, you get the credits, and then you get a cliffhanger bonus scene. And I was like, maybe we'll get answers in the sequel. But no, the sequel is actually a prequel. It as far as I know, it happens before the first game. And I'm like, well, that's not gonna answer anything, so thank you. But then again, I also watched the trailer, the very first trailer that came out, with the monkey that says motherfucker. That was fun. But the way the trailer was set up and it told the story, it really looked like it's not actually a prequel. It didn't look like a prequel. It looked like a sequel, like a very far future sequel. So I don't know what they're doing with the story there. We'll see, I guess. But anyway, they made this Space Monkey program where everyone can help out. And first I saw it, I was like, that's pretty cool. I would love to do that, except I'm a talentless hack. I can't do anything. So I told about it to my brother, who was learning how to make music at the time. And I'm like, hey, there is that Space Monkey program, maybe you can help out. And he's like, oh, Beyond Good and Evil, I remember that game. And in the end, what happened is that he had some extensive hand in some tracks in the game, to the point where you know, you don't do it for just because you like the game. You do actually. He took part in making several music for the game, and he did actually get paid for it. He did receive money from Ubisoft for the participation. So that's really cool. And I taught him about it, so yeah. So that's pretty cool. Oh, what's wrong, Verberner? The MT is... Okay, don't fly. It is what? yeah. He didn't even get that little money. I mean, it's not the kind of money that would sustain you for a month or something, but it was like some really cool pocket money that he can now turn into more music. He's at the point where he can use this money to hire like guitarists or vocalists for his own music. His music can actually be found online. He does this like how do you say it in English? He does this kind of metal where the singer doesn't necessarily sing, but rather growl. It's not the right word for it, but I don't know any other word. But all of his songs are available on YouTube and probably some other places. I'm pretty sure he links to those on YouTube. If you want to listen to some, the latest music, he actually showed me and my father. He shows my father these songs all the time. He's a lot more into the type of music my brother makes than I am, because the latest album that he released, I was like, I'm not really into the growling type of singing, but if you had like an instrumental version of these songs, then I would actually listen to them, because the instrumental is really good at this point. You can find his... Okay, so I'm gonna plug for him a bit. You can find his songs. I'm gonna write... Wait, let me just check real quick. Yes, so his name on YouTube is this. You can find him in YouTube under that name, and he makes those kind. If you're interested in that kind, or even if not, it can still be worth a listen. I might ask him for some instrumental versions. I could use those music on the stream. I can probably get permission for that. If he can make some instrumental. I actually used to use his music before when I was doing the Terraria stream. I used his music during the Starting Soon screen. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Beyond Good and Evil, yeah, I already finished with that. Yeah, he did. He did do that, yes. Because he was the only person I knew who makes music. And yeah, Raven, if you ever have some downtime, you have to play Beyond Good and Evil. There are some these cult classic games that don't get the love they deserve. Although nowadays, when nostalgia is really big, they do actually get some recognition. Beyond Good and Evil is one. I mean, there is a sequel in the works, so clearly something is happening with that series. And when the game comes out, and it's not like a subscription-based thing, just a one-time thing, because I know it's gonna be an online game. Not necessarily quite an MMO, but it's gonna be online. Alright, have fun with that, and thanks for the good luck. Another such game that's very not recognized is, again, Psychonauts. Although that one is also getting a sequel as far as I know. And that one was also kind of finished on a cliffhanger. These games always finish on a cliffhanger and then never make a sequel. But yeah, that, I'm interested in that as well. Could be interesting to stream too. I have that game actually on CD. which is a problem because I don't have a CD reader anymore. I haven't had a CD reader for like the past decade, so I can't play any of my games that are on a CD. I could buy an external CD reader, but I mean, why though? I really don't want to deal with that. Another such game is Brutal Legend, which is a really good game. I mean, as I said, I'm not hugely into metal, that's like in general. There are metal songs that I like, of course, but that game was like, it's literally just metal music if it was a video game. Just that. Sadly, Brutal Legend is very hard to stream, specifically because of the soundtrack. You kind of have to turn off all music to be able to play that, and it kind of takes away half of the interest of the game. I really hope that if they ever make a Brutal Legend 2, and I think they will, after they finish Psychonauts, I think they are gonna do Brutal Legend 2. But if they ever do that, they should really include like a streamer mode that specifically removes all the music that you are not allowed. Like maybe, you know, if Jack Black is gonna be part of that game again, like Brutal Legend 2 again starring Jack Black, maybe they can make it so they ask every single artist who has their music in the game if streamers are allowed to play it. And if they are allowed to play it, then they flag the music as such. And if they are not allowed to play it, like the producer or whatever doesn't want the music to appear on streams, then they flag the music like that. Jack Black, since he is part of the entire game, and he is really enthusiastic about that game. Like, he was in the Psychonaut 2 trailer talking about, like, there was a little hint that he would be entirely on board if Brutal Legend 2 was made. Like, he could easily say, yes, if someone is streaming this game, they can use my music. I don't care, because it's for the game and I'm passionate about the game, so whatever. And then, if someone wants to stream it, there is like a button in the options menu where they can stream streamer mode and then turn it on. And if it's turned on, then all the music flagged as not allowed to be streamed gets removed from the playlist, and only the ones that are actually allowed remain. So the game basically filters out the music for you if you want to stream it. That would be a really cool thing. And it would remove some of the music, but it wouldn't remove all of the music. It would still keep the general atmosphere and feeling for the game, just with less of a music selection. Like, imagine how cool that would be. I need to drink. But yeah, I did play Brutal Legend 2, 1, 2, I played Brutal Legend 2. My father works at whoever made that. I don't remember who made that. Yeah, I did play and finish Brutal Legend 1. I remember I was like, if I'm gonna play it anyway, might as well. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, so thanks for that. I remember now. The reason Jack Black appeared in the Psychonauts 2 trailer, even though he has nothing to do with Psychonauts and he has to do with Brutal Legend, is because both of those games were made by Double Fine. So they would know if after Psychonauts 2 they are gonna make Brutal Legend 2. And there was that little hint with Jack Black appearing in there, that they are probably at least considering it. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I played Brutal Legend. I loved the atmosphere, I loved the music, I loved the story specifically. I didn't like... I mean, I had some problems with the story itself. Because there was one point in the story where there was like conflict between. I'm not gonna say it in case you still haven't played it and want to play it, but there was conflict between two characters that ended up being the reason for like the big bad to be more powerful, like the secondary bad being created or whatever. But that conflict was so fucking forced that I was like, this makes no sense, and everyone included is a dumbass. And I didn't like that part, but the rest was fine. Let's go to the next music. So yeah, okay, so I wanted to talk about something Castlevania. You would think normally, you know, what is the purpose of video game soundtrack? Is to give you some atmosphere, put you in the right mood for the game. And that's true, but creative use of the soundtrack can very much enhance the experience. I don't remember which Castlevania it was, but maybe it was the original, I don't know. But I remember that when you're going to the final boss, Dracula of course, we know that. On the way there, you have like this very ominous music. Like you are going to fight the final boss now. This is it. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what you've been fighting for. This is where everything goes down. Very ominous music. And then the ominous music continues during the first phase of the boss. And then when you beat the first phase, you go into the second phase, then Dracula's theme starts going, like a much more energetic, much more evil theme. And yeah, you do that. And then, when you beat the second phase and the third phase, the final phase of the fight appears, Dracula's theme ends up replaced by the Belmont's theme, the main theme of the game. Because you are at the final boss, you are in the final phase, you are in the final stretch, you are amazing, you are the hero. And then the game actually replaces the bad guys' music with the good guys' music. Because you are there, you made it, it's just a little more. And that just has such a... I mean, it enhances the battle in a way that it tells the story of like the first... You are unsure if you can beat Dracula because he's an all-powerful, always returns, whatever. And then when the second phase continues, like Dracula starts being more dangerous, like he's actually trying now. And then the third phase where the character, the Belmont, goes like, I might actually be able to win. And then it's a renewed vigor, and then his own music, his own theme starts going. It's just... a very good choice. It's more than just a soundtrack. It's more than just background music, more than just atmosphere. The music there tells an emotion. It tells a story from the perspective of the main character. I think only one of them do it. I'm not sure, but that was really good when I heard about it. That was really... It's going beyond than just having, like, you know, a soundtrack. It's going beyond that. And I thought it was amazing. I like when games do like these unique stuff where they do some of these meta things. So they use parts of the gameplay and the music and any aspect of the game to enhance the game itself, like in more ways than one. Like, okay, I could say like, oh, the obvious example is like Undertale, where the meta thing enhances the story, but whatever, everyone knows that. This Castlevania little music thing is the main thing that I was talking about. It's really cool. It's really, I want to... When I actually get around to making a game, the good thing is going to be that I actually have so much... how do you say it? Observational experience that I can use all of these to make the most out of it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of that is, but feel free to explain. Okay, so one of the next next music that I can vote for is from Super Dodgeball Around the World, and it's titled "I Lost My Balls in Moscow." So yes, we're gonna have to listen to that. What's a stage weapon? Well, thank you, Raven. That explained it, and at the same time didn't tell me anything new. Douglas, you keep coming with whenever we talk about games, somehow Monster Hunter always comes up. Even though I've played one of the Monster Hunter games for like a few hours tops. It was the one on Wii U. I don't remember what the type. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate or whatever. I don't know. Third Ultimate, yeah. I played that one. I didn't play too much because it was a little confusing to me. But what I achieved in that game is that I did. I went out some hunting. You know, I talked to the villagers. They were like, "Well, we need more meat," and I went out to get more meat. "Oh, we need more fucking leather." I went out to get more leather, and one big joyous thing that I could do in that game is fight enemies with a big battle horn, and I could combo various buff effects for myself depending on what combos I do with the weapon. And I love that because every time I attacked, the horn made a sound. And I was like, I can beat someone up and play the music in the meantime. Sign me up. I mean, I'm not necessarily a bard main, but that sounds really cool. So that's my main experience. I got the big ass battle horn, went into a cave and beat up stuff in there. I don't remember what they were, but I beat them up. I like this song. Elder Scrolls. Yeah, the thing is, I do remember that I tried to play the Bard and I went to level 30, at which point the game, Final Fantasy XIV, actually lets you play your own song. Just stand in the town center and start playing songs. And now that I don't have input delay, I could probably actually play some songs, but I was also concerned, what if someone hears me and it's copyrighted music? I'm playing copyrighted music. What happens then? Because normally I wouldn't think twice about it, because it's a video game. I'm just playing the music, whatever. It's not like I'm playing the original music there. But when I learned that skill that lets me play the music, it did tell me, like, it had like a little text. That's probably just, you know, for covering their asses. I mean, I don't have VODs. I would literally just do it off stream. Like, I would just play it on my own time. I wasn't planning to stream it. No, just on my own, and someone hears it like, "That's fucking Despacito, how dare you play that on video game, I'm reporting you because that's copyrighted music." There are like fanatic people like that. Yeah, but unlikely doesn't mean 0%. I don't know, but in general, like, maybe if I don't play the copyrighted music, I only play like fucking Hungarian folk songs. But yeah, I did try to play that, but on my old computer I had some huge input lag that made it almost impossible to play any song properly. But yeah, maybe I should return to that game sometimes, try it again, now that I have a proper computer that can actually run it and not die while doing so. Because, again, I remember when, the Moscow song didn't actually win. This is the other one. Yesterday I watched a video, like, I don't play World of Warcraft anymore, but I still follow like the Blizzard news and stuff. And yesterday I watched a video where usually there is this guy who makes like World of Warcraft news videos, essentially. And on the videos he's very like formal, like official, very reserved in the speaking. But then he had a stream and vote clips and whatever, where he doesn't care about that. He just goes off if he feels like it, like talk unrestricted. And yesterday I watched the video, but the video itself isn't that old either. There was a video of him talking with a friend about the new World of Warcraft stuff. You know, the TBC Classic, Shadowland 9.1, whatever, and he just went off on Blizzard. Just completely off. And one of the comments he did is that, well, this is happening to World of Warcraft, everyone can just remember and be reminded that Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial. And like the World of Warcraft news guy said that. So you know, things are not going well. What kind of meme has it become? I haven't heard it otherwise. I didn't know it was a meme, it was just he said that and I'm like, okay, chill. In general though, I did play some of Final Fantasy XIV in the past. I think I liked the Hunter or whatever was my favorite, and I went Bard as a subcategory or whatever because it was the most mobile. It reminded me of World of Warcraft's Mage the most. Damn it. I hate when pigs fall in here, it's just so difficult to get them out of here. But that's not really a meme, that's just facts. You can play through most of the game. I mean, it's like World of Warcraft does have a trial, it lets me go up to level 20 out of 60, which is like, it's okay, but nowhere near the thing. If I had to compare Final Fantasy XIV's trial to what Blizzard would have to do compare to it, what they would have to do is basically, you can imagine if in World of Warcraft you could play all previous expansions currently up to BFA to level 60 for completely free. And then if you wanted to play the newest version, the newest thing, Shadowlands, then you would have to buy Shadowlands and pay the subscription fee. These guys should not be here, by the way. The cryptos are down there in the crypt. But sometimes they like bug out and spawn up here and then they literally don't do anything. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, and everything up till Battle of Azeroth is free, and then if you want to play Shadowlands, you have to buy it and do the subscription. The only thing I wish Final Fantasy XIV did that World of Warcraft actually does is the WoW token, because I don't have the money for like a monthly subscription. I can't do that in any game. But in World of Warcraft, if I play enough and I farm the gold enough, I can just pay for my monthly fee with in-game gold. And Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have anything like that, which is the only reason I don't really play it. I mean, even Wildstar. Remember that game Wildstar? That really cool MMO that ended up dying because they didn't know how to run an MMO. Even that had like a WoW token style system where you could either pay for premium or buy it with in-game currency, and the in-game currency was kind of expensive, but it was possible. And actually I think Wildstar did it first, and then World of Warcraft implemented it after the fact. I really wish Wildstar was still around. That was a really good game. I loved playing it. It was a bit... I was mostly a PvP guy in there. And I actually played enough PvP in there to have the best PvP gear and stuff. So I was pretty good at the game, but eventually they just couldn't sustain it and they shut it down. Still sad about that. But whatever, there are plenty of free games that I can play. Even MMOs. Lately I found a really fun series on YouTube that I've been watching. It's called Worst MMOs Ever. Made by like Hayes Strife or whatever his name is, I don't remember. And then he basically goes over various MMOs, most of which don't even look finished. But they are fully released, like he doesn't take like alpha versions, only finished versions. Theoretically finished, that is. And then introduces them. And I'm like, you know, if you gave me $1 million and the means to make a MMO, I could probably make a better job than those games that I see in that playlist. Which is partially why I want to get into game design. Even if not an MMO, I mean, I know I'm never gonna make an MMO. It's just not gonna happen. But other games, I could make I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, so to say, my own battle horn while beating up monsters, but I think I know enough about game design that I could make pretty good games if I was not lazy and actually looked into like Unity or whatever. But I'm lazy, so that's a big hurdle to overcome. Yeah, the problem is getting off your ass and then getting on your ass, sitting in front of the computer and making it. That's the big problem. Because, you know, a lot of these indie games prove that in order to make a game, you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to be able to draw good. I mean, just look at most of the sprites in Undertale. Undertale is like a cult classic at this point. No matter what anyone says, even if you don't like it, you have to admit that it's a phenomenon. Maybe not so much lately. Toby has been kind of silent. We're still waiting for Deltarune Chapter 2. Toby, I can guarantee you're never gonna see this, but I'm still calling you out on it. But yeah, it's a good classic. But if you look at the sprite work itself, some of the sprites are very detailed and amazing. Like the main character has one of the most work put into it, and some of the boss sprites, of course, especially the final boss sprite, yes. But in general, a lot of the sprites for like the side characters are Yeah. But you don't have to be a good artist. You don't have to be a coder. But you do need some unique ideas. But Undertale does not actually have good coding. I remember, if you look into Undertale's code, it was... blood and tears were shed to make it. Because Toby Fox is not a coder, he's a musician. He makes music. He started out primarily as a musician. But yeah, music helps definitely. If you're a musician, you are probably in the best place to make an indie game. But what you need is something original. Now, you say good writing. Yeah, I like to consider myself a pretty decent writer. I have plenty of practice. When I used to write a lot of short stories, put them up on the internet. I had to stop because I couldn't pay for the website anymore, or like the storage, you know. Well, all the stuff with the Stuffager's Grain files and mindfucks, it's not that hard. I mean, majorly those stuff use registry flags. Something happens, the game puts a flag in the registry, and then later on, even if you reload or whatever, the reload doesn't affect the registry flags, so the flag is still there, and the game can just read it and act accordingly. So it's not that difficult doing that kind of stuff. Good writing, yes, and I think if I ever made games, I would primarily focus on the writing, because that's what I know. Storytelling, writing, etc. I know that stuff. I've done that stuff. And game design. I mean, I don't want to say I never designed games, because I had to make games for school itself. I dabbled in various designing some games, even if I never actually finished them, because they always end up too complicated. I have to learn not to overcomplicate things. I have to make them simple, streamlined, but interesting. I mean, there are plenty of glitches in Undertale too. Whatever. Yeah, so that's what I would focus on. And I have at least 2 or 3 game ideas. Like, I know that ideas are cheap. There is no like idea guy in a game design, but you still need a coherent base idea to build your game on. Like, what do you want your game to be? And at that point, you need the idea. And then expand that idea with more ideas, and those ideas are cheap. I want to make them. I really want to make them, but it's been years. I mean, I've tried. I mean, my high school was like coding specific, and I tried to go to like coding specific college as well. It didn't work out. I don't. I mean, I didn't fail coding in that specific. I failed math, like really badly. And I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. But now, you know, there is Unity, there is Game Maker, all kind of that stuff. RPG Maker for the very simple stuff. Even if you don't know how to code, there are options. As long as you're not lazy. And I am, in fact, lazy. Which is the biggest problem of all. I have to get off of my ass. Start doing it. And that's it. I don't know what I have to say about the topic. Next! Um, In terms of music, I have a bit of both an advantage and a disadvantage. My advantage is that I've actually been playing music, I mean not lately, but I have played music since I was a kid, because my parents really tried to force me, okay, you have to learn at least one instrument, it's gonna be really good for you in the future. I'm like, feels like kind of a waste of time, but you can't say no to parents, especially when you're a kid. Or you can, but it's not gonna end well. So I was learning like piano for a few years. I tried out the accordion for like a month. I really didn't like it, so I went back to piano afterwards. I played the guitar for a while. I played synthesizer, which is basically just piano but more specific, like jazz specifically. I played jazz. And I played the violin for like 4 years. And then my teacher went abroad and I never bothered to find another one because school was starting and I was like, I would rather focus on school now. And haven't really been playing since. But I have some musical background. The bad thing is that it was all done as private teachers. We did that for one because when I was playing piano, the teacher agreed to be driven up to our place, play on our own piano, and then be driven back, instead of us having to go to the school where she was teaching. The drawback of that is that I never learned like music theory, to the point where when I was playing the piano, even as a kid, and even today if I try to, what I did is I listened to how the teacher played it, read the first note from the sheet music, and then played everything else from there based on hearing. Because I could not read sheet music fast enough to actually be useful. Like, the only way I can read sheet music is like, okay, I know that this is a G, so if the note is up there, then it's one G, A, D, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then I read it out. I count it out specifically what the next one is, but counting out every single note on a music sheet takes forever. So I just tried to play it for how it sounded, and I never learned how to read sheet music, and that would be pretty useful when you're trying to make music, to be able to read sheet music and have some theory ready to go. Like if you want to play on this kind of tune, like, or whatever it's called, then you put this and this and this at the start, and that applies to the entire song, and that's how it's gonna sound, and that's what you want. I don't know that, so that's kind of a huge drawback. I can only ever do music by hearing. Which is why, when I was playing the violin, I was able to very quickly learn a lot of well-known songs, like Godfather, Lonely Mountain from The Hobbit, all kind of those songs. I could very quickly learn how to play those because I already knew what they sounded like. All I had to do is take the violin, because violin is not like piano where you have two hands and you have to know both hands. And the right hand is like the melody, which I can figure out on my own, but the left hand, what does the left hand play? I have no idea. The violin is not like that. If you know the melody, you can play the song. And that's what I did, and basically that's what I did. I did learn some violin practice, like how to make it, because violin is one of the hardest instruments in the world. even if you can make it sound, if you can make it make a sound, it's not gonna sound good unless you know how to make it sound good. Fucking hell. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. The way to make a violin sound good is to vibrate every single note. Just whenever, I mean, if you're playing fast, then obviously you can't, but whenever there is a held out note, vibrate it, and then it's gonna sound good. That's how it sounds good. Otherwise it just sounds like someone is being tortured. But if you vibrate it, it sounds like gentle purring. And that's good. You don't want the screaming, you want the purring. And also, you also have to learn how to hold down the different notes, of course. If you're going by hearing, that's not that hard. But the problem is, you know, when you're playing on a guitar and there are all these bumps along the neck of the guitar, and that just tells you, okay, this is this sound. This is where you hold to make that sound. The violin doesn't have bumps. You just have to figure out on your own where the sounds are, where the different tunes are. It's not holding, it doesn't help you in the least in finding them. You just have to know or hear. And I did the latter. I was pretty good at it. And then I stopped playing it. I haven't played it for like a very long time. I forget what led to this topic. What was I talking about? I don't know. Anyway, the pigs are not being very kind to me today. I'm not getting very many items. I'm getting a lot of XP and a lot of money. Not even that much money. The money is good, but I mean, I'm usually expecting way more than this. Yeah, this is the kind of techno song that I don't like. Is this even called techno? Like this? This is the kind of music where, you know, some musician, some online musician had like construction going on in the front, so they like recorded it and remixed it into a song. It's that kind. Which, I mean, still respectable, knowing how to do that, but I just don't like this kind of music. It's almost over though, so whatever. There aren't even that many pigs around anymore. And I mean, imagine doing something like this for 8 days straight. In a way that also reduces how much you sleep each night, because you have to keep farming the pigs. I don't know why I agreed. I don't know why I decided to do this. I thought, maybe I just thought, you know, I've been seeing people find them, so surely it's not that. Okay, so this music has lyrics. It's a bit hard to speak over lyrics, so I guess I'm just gonna wait for it to be over. What is this anyway? Chrono Trigger. I didn't know Chrono Trigger had lyrics in its music. It kind of reminds me. Who here has seen the Undertale musical? Because I have. It's kind of because it's not an official musical. I don't know who heard about it, who haven't heard about it. I mean, you guys, Raven Douglas, probably heard about it because I told you about it before. But in general, it's a fan project because Undertale's music is very well known. Again, Toby Fox is primarily a musician. He made music for like Homestuck. That was a big one. That has his first break. He made Megalovania for that comic first, and then he repurposed it for the game later. But yeah, so people were like, these are really good music. We should make a musical that tells like an Undertale story, but with the music of Undertale. Yeah, I know the music was first used in like that Earthbound mode, whatever. But then it was reused in the comic. Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to say it because I'm talking about music right now, not game design. But yeah, some fans came together and like, let's make a musical because the music is really good and the story is really good. Boom, musical. And it's 4 hours long. And I watched it multiple times. I have my opinion on it. I didn't watch it necessarily because it's that good, but it's a really good learning experience, both positively and negatively. I'm not gonna go into detail because I would be here all day talking about it, and I know most people don't care. Come. But yeah, that a lot of those songs are actually really good, and the guy who made who like shepherded the Undertale musical also did some songs for other games afterwards. Deltarune, of course. Chrono Trigger has several. And then there are some one-offs like Kirby music, and I don't remember. I should check on them sometime. Could be interesting. Just reading the chat right now. Whenever you look at chat in Skyblock, Hypixel Skyblock, there are a few things that I can guarantee you will see. Usually, if someone writes in the chat, usually within that minute, before or after, there's gonna be either A, begging, B, scamming attempts, or C, there is no C, those are the two. Those are the two options. Either begging or scamming going on. And the scamming, there are some sub things, like if it's a scamming, there is at least a 33% chance that it's gonna be a scam like, I'm quitting Skyblock, whoever bids the most on my auction gets all my stuff. I see that scam every single day multiple times, and I don't know if it ever works because it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I already talked about it last time, but if you're quitting, you don't have to give away your stuff, you can just leave it there. If you ever want to return, it's gonna be there. And if you want to give it away, why do you make people bid on garbage on the auction house? Like, yeah, I'm gonna bid on your piece of dirt on the auction house because you're gonna give me all my stuff if I win it. Yeah, no, what's gonna happen is just I'm gonna win your piece of dirt for 1,400,000 and that's it. And I can guarantee, if you look, because Minecraft usernames are public knowledge, like there is like a website where you can look up information on people, including their skin and their past names. So if you like see a scamming attempt in the chat, you took that name, you put it in the site, check past names, I can guarantee you would see like 10 or 15 past names. Because they like username to scam people, then change their name and try to scam again. Because if you don't look up, you will have no idea it's the same person. Okay, I'll be right back actually. And I'm back. I really should eat more before streams because 4-hour stream means that by the time I finish, I am going to be very hungry. I'm starting to get hungry. I still have an hour to go, at least. Pete, come on. Stop wasting time. Which also means I have 1 more hour to find the relic on stream. Of course, if I don't find it and if someone else doesn't find it, I'm gonna continue to farm off stream as usual. I mean, if we consider that, let's take an absolute average. I start streaming at 4 PM. I start farming at about the same time on average. No, I already farmed before that, so like, let's put an hour on it. So let's say I farmed from 3 PM. And I farm until basically morning. With some minor... Where the fuck is the orb? Oh, it's up here. Where am I going? That's 3 PM to 3 AM, that's 12 hours. So let's say 15 hours farmed a day. So that, like, let's be generous and say that I farmed 14 hours a day since I started. Because there were a few days where I farmed less because I was with family. So 14 hours, and I started 8 days ago. $80. Get to 110 plus some. You fucking serious? I've been farming for about 110 hours. And still nothing, just potatoes. And the other stuff. And everything basically except what I really want. And the item that would finish the game, I ran out of. go buy more. Check the auction first. Always check the auction first. Nope. Way too expensive. Let's just buy some here. Oh, I had some orbs here already. Oh well. Not gonna have to come back here in a while. I've been looking at like the Skyblock Reddit, trying to see if anyone else has any comment to say on the shiny pigs. But it's like, no, nobody really cares. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably the only one who actually cares about finding this last relic. Others are farming it, of course, I'm not saying they're not, but they don't care about it as much. If they cared, I mean, I can guarantee that the designers did not intend for this fucking event to go on for this long. Because the event started on April 16th. And now it's like May 7th, I think. This was not meant to be like this long. It was meant to be like, you find the relics in the span of like 5 or 10 days or something like that. And then after that there is an ancient pig, whatever that is, we still don't know. And then the event ends. And it's a one-time event, probably never to return. But no, it's almost been a fucking month. It's not even that it's glitched, because they didn't change anything, and I remember that one day, 8 days ago, I started farming it, and then the next day someone else found the 6th one. So it is possible to find them. And nothing changed about the event since then. I have considered, what if it's just bugged and we literally cannot find it? I'm at the point where I want to write to tech support like, hey, I know it's probably not bugged, but can you just check? Can you make sure that it's not bugged? Because I've been farming like tens of thousands of pigs here at this point. I just can't find anything. And I mean, yeah, okay, 10,000 is not a lot, considering it's a 1 in 20 million chance, but I farmed over 10,000 pigs, I can guarantee. Others have also farmed over 10,000, and I'm like, even if let's just tell them, even if it's not bugged, can you do something about it? Because this is ridiculous. Like, people are not supposed to do this kind of thing day out, day in, day out. 20 million, like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, I know you wanted to make it rare, and then you wanted to make it so it lasts a while, it doesn't get finished in one day, but 1 in 20 million?
Non-forces have fortified this beachhead at X-16Y42. Intelligence is still coming in, so we can't tell you a lot.
I mean, if you consider that the, okay, 16 April, that's 14 plus 8, it's been like, let's say 20 days. If it was by these metrics, if the relic was found today, then it would be like 20 something days, whatever. If it was 1 in a million chance, then it would be, the 7 would be found in 1 day, based on current metrics. if it was 1 in 5 million, then they would be found in about 5 days. Okay? And that sounds pretty good, but if you really want to make it rare and extend the event a bit, 1 in 10 million tops. That would be perfectly fine. Then we can find it like in 10 days or something. That is assuming that the last relic will be found today, which is not even guaranteed, and I'm starting to have my doubts. Because there is like, at least give me a sign that I'm doing something right here. Like, give me a sign. Really, the only reason I think that I'm doing something right is because I've seen someone else get lucky. But I can't be sure if I'm actually doing something right. Hello, the gamer 127 YT. The gamer. Hello, welcome to the stream. Enjoy the pigs and the music. That's all we have today. And that's all we ever have. For 8 days straight. Even if they reduced the drop chest like 1 in 10 million, it would be too late. We've already been to gamer, yeah. Okay. We've already been at it for over 20 days. I've been at it for like 8 days. It's been 7 days, a whole week since the last one was found. It's just it's too rare. I know that you want it to be rare, like this Skyblock is specifically a game about waiting. Like you need 160 stacks of enchanted stuff to make a bigger stuff. Okay, well, I don't know anything about emotes. Even when I'm watching someone stream, I never use emotes because I don't understand them. But yeah, if they put the rarity for this last day to 1 in a million, it would be found in a few hours. Yes, that's too common for something that only 7 exists, but at this point we've already been at it 20 days. Just please have mercy on us, Hypixel company, whatever you're called. Just have mercy. Yeah, that's not what I mean. I mean, I don't even use the base emotes that everyone gets. Except the grey faces that happen when you do like a normal emote. What the fuck is this music? Final Fantasy, of course it is. So gamer, do you play Skyblock? Are you having fun with Skyblock? If you're playing it, if not, then disregard the second question. I'm having a ton of fun. This is, you know, my skin in Minecraft already kind of looked like a general store owner in an RPG. So now I can say that this is just part of his backstory. Like, he came from like humble roots. He was a meager pig farmer, a pig herder, and then that's how he made his first millions of coins, and he invested that into making like a general store, and now he's a general store owner, or just a general store. I mean, whatever he wants to be. Possible. You can be a general store too. That reminds me, I have, okay, Skyblock, very good game, very enjoyable game, I love it. I have one complaint. I have one complaint about this particular Skyblock. It's not even really a game complaint, more like a graphic complaint. And that is... No, it's not even a minimap. As I said, it's more a graphical thing. You know, Minecraft is all about customization. You know, you go somewhere, you build. Even in this, you can build whatever you want on your private island. And you pick a skin that you want to use. And then you use that skin. Like, you make a skin for yourself. You are very proud of it. You go into Skyblock. 90% of all helmets are like full head helmets that completely hide your skin. I don't like that. I would want... It's okay if some helmets hide it, but every good armor that I've seen, every single one of them hide the entire face. At which point you could have the absolute base skin, nobody would be able to tell. Like a very popular one, I think that's what I saw, or a similar one, is the dragon's armor sets. The dragon armor set just makes your head look like a dragon. And at that point it doesn't matter what your skin is, because you're just gonna look like a dragon anyway. I would love if this game had more helmets that don't hide the entire, like what I have now. This is okay. You can have even less. You shouldn't have much more than that, because at that point you lose individuality. That makes having a Minecraft skin so exciting. Like, even if you just download a skin online and you want, I got it because I like it, and that's fine. That's what you like, that's your individuality. But if you even take the time to make a skin yourself, and then it doesn't matter because it's gonna get completely hidden by the armor anyway. And I mean the rest of the armor, of course, the chest plate, whatever, those are gonna hide the skin. That makes sense because it's armor, it has to cover it. But the helmet, having to cover the face, just makes it completely homogeneous between everyone. Like if I see a person with like a bright yellow skin that's wearing armor, the dragon armor, and the guy with like a lime skin, like someone who has dream skin because original. Aside from very thin stripes between the armor pieces, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between them. That's probably one of the biggest things I hate about Skyblock. Well, it's not even hate, I just dislike it as a fact. And I wish there were more helmets that didn't hide the entire face. That's all. Okay, someone was scamming on this island, based on the chat. Okay. I don't know how people fall for it. I mean... Yeah, there's some more scams over there. In general, if you're smart and cautious, you're never gonna get scammed. Because in order to get scammed, you have to agree to something. Or have to do something that goes out of your way to allow the other person to scam you. If you're vigilant and don't just trust strangers blindly, then you know, you're not gonna get scammed. I'm doing the best thing about it because in general I'm trying to play Skyblock by my own strengths, which is also why I don't accept like gifts from stream watchers. It's a very nice gesture to give me stuff to make the stream, to make my job easier, but at the same time the entire point of Skyblock is grinding. If I get gifts that let me skip the grind, then what even is the point of playing it? I want to do the grind myself, whether it be grinding out materials to be able to craft the item, or grinding out the money in order to buy the item. Like, I've been checking the bazaar and stuff, once this event ends, I'll have enough money to basically buy a super compactor for every single minion I have. And fuel too. Like, not even the enchanted lava bucket that I already have. I could buy the best lava bucket fuel. And super compactors for everyone. And personal compactor for myself. To make it easier when I'm out there and farming. Well, no, maybe I don't even need that if everyone has a super compactor anyway. But you know what I mean. And I would still have a few millions left after that. Because like a super compactor is a few 100,000. If I buy 8 of those, it's a couple million. I buy the fuel, it's like 1 million each. It's not even 1 million. It's like 500,000 or something. Point is, I would still have money left by this time. It's really weird. Well, it's not weird. I've been farming this fucking event for 8 days at this point, so of course I have a lot of money. I'm not even sure what yes, what I just said, I'm probably gonna invest in those just to make my job easier. Super compactor is good because it makes it so you have to check on your minions a fraction of the times you have to check on them otherwise. So I can guarantee I'm gonna buy those. But what else do I want? I don't even know what else I would want. I probably want some... probably gonna get some stuff to get better armor and weapons. Like buy some enchanted pork to finish up the pigman sword. Stuff like that. And also, when this event ends, I'll be free to do anything I want. Which includes, I always said about when I'm not streaming, I could do all that other stuff. But even when I'm streaming, and say I'm waiting for minions to make some stuff, so I can build stuff, and I'm just waiting around, and I don't really feel like... Oh, you motherfucker. Server is lagging. Is it not gonna let... No, it's not gonna let me. Okay, let's reconnect. Okay, server is having a momentary problem. It's gonna be fine in a second, don't worry. But if I don't have anything to do and the minions are working and whatever, I could just go and play some actual Hypixel stuff. Like, having been playing... Okay, what the fuck? Having been playing Skyblock, I got a lot more used to how to move around in the game, how to attack. So I could try to play some of the other ones, you know. Okay, we're gonna wait for a bit here. I see a lot of people lost connection. There are 10,000 people who just lost connection. Constantly reducing, holy shit. Something's going on. Huh? No? Guess I'm gonna wait a little. In terms of the stream, it shouldn't matter because I'm just doing grinding and talking about random stuff. The problem with that, I know that some people, when they do like these kind of podcast things, what they tend to do is prepare a list of topics and then have it on the side. Okay, I think I have to reload. Have those topics on the side, and then it helps keep a discussion flowing, because they have those ready. They are like, okay, these topics, it's gonna be enough for 2 hours. That's what we're aiming for here. That's 2 hours. I should do that, but at the same time I don't like to limit myself like that. But at the same time, like writing up 3 main things, topics. Okay, so something about Hypixel is going to shit. The exact number. Oh, okay, I mean. Very laggy. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not gonna question it. I should really do that. Before a stream, go around, ask everyone, say a random word or a random topic. And then I say it if I'm reminded of something, like a good stuff to talk about, then write it down quickly, move on, and then use that on the stream. Like potato. You know what I would be talking about in relation to potatoes. I mean, Skyblock plus potato. You know where that leads. But I don't know if I want to talk about that. Because everyone already talks about it excessively. No pigs here. Let's see if I can change map this time. Okay, it works. I mean, what I could talk about potato is like my first ever experience with Hypixel Skyblock was the Potato War YouTube series by Technoblade, where Potato War is pretty obvious what it means. And nowadays, actually, the fun thing about that is, even today I can go back to that stream and get some tips on how to optimize minions. Because that's the entire point of that video series, optimizing potato farming. And that one applies to only potatoes only, but it doesn't have to. It can apply to anything, and I'm like, how can I further optimize my farms? And I go watch the videos. They are fun videos to begin with, so I don't mind watching them again. And note some of the things that he talks about. And try to do that on my own to increase yield. So that's potato. Where are all the pigs? Let me check something. Okay, no, it's still just 6. And there's a pig. Okay, so it's just, I'm getting bad lobbies, that's all. Come on, piggy. Are you gonna give me my relic, please? I don't know why sometimes the pigs just do this. Usually they should be popping up the blocks, but sometimes they just get locked and they refuse to move. I hate that. And I hate these pigs, I really do. They are very hard to deal with. They are very dumb. Where is it? Ah. Extremely dumb. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of a bug, because the pig obviously has a new AI, whereas it runs away from you. But it still also has its own old pig AI, and those two kind of don't mix well sometimes, which is why these pigs often have this weird behavior where they're supposed to flee from me, but they don't quite. They run through you in order to flee from you and whatever. Not to mention the lag in their movement. It's just a pain to deal with. It's a real pain, but I dedicated myself to doing it. My phone is about to run out, so I have to close the Chrome, the browser. Pretty good song. I don't know what it is because I closed it. I think it's Stardew Valley. That was the previous one that I voted on. Maybe that's gonna be the next one. This familiar music. Okay, Raven, help me. I completely ran out of topics to talk about. I've been doing this for like four streams. I've been talking about random nonsense for like 15 hours at this point. I don't know what other random nonsense I can talk about. I already said that. Also, I'm getting really hungry. I don't really want to end the stream early, like a half hour early, because I mean it's just farming. Why would I do that? But Douglas, even if I had any of those games, I would still not do that. Because this is what I dedicated myself to, and yeah, I'm not gonna just give up. I'm not gonna give up hundreds of hours of farming just because, fuck it. Plans for next game? Well, I'm planning to play Skyblock for a while now, because I was planning to actually play Skyblocks, then this event happened, and I was like, you know what, it would be funny to farm it out and get some stuff, and then I just got stuck in it. So I still want to actually play Skyblock after all this is done. But after I'm done with that, it depends on the audience. If I can build up like an audience, I'm probably going to play one of those games I told you about that are like, I want to show these games off, so I'm keeping them until I actually have an audience. If I don't have an audience, it would probably be some more popular game that I'm actually also interested in to garner interest. It's not even that, it's not bad stuff, it's just way too long. I knew that I can just do this, it's profitable, I'm getting a lot of stuff and money that I'm gonna be able to use later on to speed up later development, which is, it's good, it's useful. I just didn't expect it to last 8 days. I can still continue and it's just as profitable as it was day one. But I wasn't expecting to do it for 8 days. Where did the other one? It's not mine. Somehow it went there. No, that's the orb. It's just here. How are you here? You flew away in... Yeah, it walked back. Sometimes they just walk around. I don't think they're supposed to do that. It's not bad stuff, and I'm doing it because my plan was to use this event to get money and resources to speed up later development, and I want to make use of this event until it lasts. The problem was, again, I didn't expect it to last this long, but I'm still getting good use out of it, so I don't want to stop. I want to stop when it's over, but yes. The date of being over was underestimated. I'm honestly considering writing to support team, asking, what the fuck guys? It's been 7 days since the last relic, it's been 20 days since the event started. Or is this what you planned, or is this intended, or can you do something about this? Because this is just... it's not working out. Nobody's really doing the pigs except extremely dedicated people whose lives... I mean, I've been sleeping like 6 hours a night since it started. There was one night where I slept the usual 7.5, and there was one night where I slept 1 hour because I had like a class. And I'm still gonna have class next Monday, and I still have an assignment to do. And I was planning to do it this weekend. It's not a long assignment, but it still needs some time set aside. So, Hypixel, I can guarantee you're not watching that, but please, if you're watching ever in the next few days, I don't know, make this event end either today or tomorrow so I can go do my fucking school assignment. Please. Inventory is full, let me just deal with that. Oh, that's not. Go there. There we go. Also, I want to sleep a bit and actually play your game. I mean, it's fun, you made this event, it's fun, you... in honor of the revolution and Technoblade and whatever, it's very honorable and very good and kind of fun event. But this is just overstaying its welcome. It should not last a full month. Or whatever this is. Whatever you plan to let it keep just going uninterrupted. It should not... 10 days. That would be the maximum I would plan for. And you know that with 1 in 20 million, it would not be over in 10 days. Like, there is no way. If you thought that it's gonna be over in 10 days, you woefully overestimated how many people are willing to put up with this shitty AI of a pig. There's nothing else to say. It's just please end it today or at the latest tomorrow. Otherwise you're gonna force me. I mean, you're not forcing me, of course. It's my choice to keep doing it, but the way it's designed, way this event is designed, 1 in 20 million chance, it's designed to prey on people like me who start something and they can't quit because they want to see it through the end. To the end. 1 in 1 million would have been perfectly fine. It would be over pretty quickly, but I mean, whatever. I don't know what the Ancient Pig does. Shut up. I don't know what the Ancient Pig does, but maybe it's gonna be around for a few days. 1 in 1 million would have been perfectly fine. It would still be very luck based. 1 in 20 million just means the event can last 10 days, sure, that is a possibility. It could last 2 months. If people lose interest and barely anyone is finding relics, it could easily last 2 months. And I know we found 6 relics out of 7 already. but this last one is just taking forever. To the point where I'm questioning if it's bugged or something. In fact, if the stream is over and nobody found it, maybe I'm gonna write to the Hypixel staff, hey, I know it's very rare and it's probably not bugged, but can you just check, just to make sure? Because nobody would be able to tell even if it was bugged. Like, maybe someone accidentally wrote a 6 where it should be a 7. And then the ancient pig needs 7 to summon, but only 6 can be found, or something. Just check. Just for me, just for peace of mind. There you go, I kinda lost track. Again, here's a guy who has no idea how the event works, 20 days into the event. Where the fuck did it go? It's the orb. There it is. It's in the house. I hate it when that happens. Come on, we're running out of time. Just go to the orb. It's not even because the getting over it game is difficult, and it's designed to be difficult. That's the most important thing. It was designed to be the way it is. It's explicitly designed to be hard and taunt you while you fail. This event was not designed like that. It's just completely by accident, completely ridiculous. Oh my fucking god. Just let me go over to the Tyrant so I can at least go around in pigs. The Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is a game that's difficult and frustrating and taunting by design. This event is not. It was meant to just be, hey, do a bunch of these pigs, eventually you get relic, you get the ancient pig, whatever that is. That's all it was supposed to be, and now we're almost a month into it. I really don't know what to say, so I might just end the stream early, go get some food because I am very hungry. I mean, I ate some toast today and that's all. Didn't really have a proper lunch. And you know, I'm really not doing anything, just circling around, doing the pig stuff, running out of topics. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna end the stream here, write to Hypixel support to check the code, just to make sure, just to give me some peace of mind that I'm the bad one here, and it's entirely my fault that I'm not farming enough and it's not in the code or whatever. I'm gonna actually write and ask them. Because Reddit doesn't ask that question. I'm pretty sure there are just not enough people farming the pigs to actually have that question asked. And after that, I'm gonna go quickly shower, get some food, and then continue the farm while waiting for a reply. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So let me just... Alright, so thank you for watching the stream, whoever's still here, who is not here. The next time I'm gonna be streaming is probably gonna be on Monday. I am going to have classes on Monday, but it shouldn't interfere. So I'm gonna be here, and hopefully by that time this event will be over. So thank you for watching, and until next time, which is Monday, see y'all.